This is the John Hallett Podcast with John Hallett.
Because the way we're living, we need to change it, make it change today. And all learn from failure. Maybe they just wanted it a little bit more than you. That's probably the fact.
And now your host, John Hallett.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in again. I really appreciate it. I think there's not a week that goes by that I tell Josh that I don't know why I'm doing this podcast, but he believes in me. So we keep doing it. And you know, like everything else, just like training, you got to be consistent and get better at it, Today, you know, things I've been listening to, I think are really interesting. An episode from Sean Ryan, I think you guys should check out. Dr. Stephen Greer. Some really just interesting stuff. I don't think we're alone in the planet. And you can get really deep into everything out there. Are there aliens? You know, what is God? Who's controlling the universe? Kind of thing. Every once in a while, I like to, you know, sometimes annoy people and be like, what if God's an alien? Is God an alien? Could be an entity out there, all powerful, all seeing, eternal. Josh is making funny faces.
Well, I brought myself in because I was
like, you know, you're not supposed to bring yourself in, Josh. I'm going to get a freaking screen. We got to get an on-air thing.
I have it. Okay. Oh, we need an on-air sign because yesterday's there was a little bit of
Julie, one of my favorite people.
Yeah.
But she's like, I can't come in. I'm like, we're filming.
We're
recording
podcast.
And filming. So I can't come in. I'm like, I should have brought her in.
Should just put her on the camera and been like, go now.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to actually be on the camera when it goes.
So, but I think it's a really interesting conversation that he has with Sean Ryan, Dr. Stephen Greer. It's episode 65. He's got another one. He was saying his episode was taken off of Joe Rogan when he joined Spotify. Just some really interesting stuff on technology. And I always say, follow the money. You know, where people are looking for power and control and more control. You know, why don't we have better? You hear people on the verge of, you know, being able to make, you know, like Tesla. Like, I think he made these cars aren't Teslas. They're running off the grid. You know, it's just, people just get so caught up in, oh, now you're still running off the grid. And now we got a dirty ass battery. And what's going on to get that battery? And people just follow this narrative like little ants, like going to a picnic basket.
They feel better for it, right? I'm driving a green car. I'm doing
it's
green
still
lifestyle.
Into the grid. So it's some really interesting things. He's about to launch a movie that's, you know, totally crowdfunded. On this, you know, where are these aliens? They made this little announcement. Show us the stuff.
Yeah,
I want to see the stuff. And how about the technology? He just goes really in depth into the technology, and that's where and he says he has like a dead man's trigger that's tied up in the blockchain.
Yeah.
You know, a couple times that if he dies, everything goes out. But he's trying to do it the best way he can. He's been working on it for
Greer's
decades.
been in it for a long
50.
Long
it's
time.
crazy. I mean, I know he said he had two people that worked for him assassinated, you know, quote unquote, like mysteriously died, you know, some of these things.
Nowhere.
It's, you know, it's where the American people, I just get really fed up. You know, it's that song from Oliver Anthony, you know, these politicians taking kids on, you know, he makes this little line, I'm gonna quote it wrong, but, you know, taking care of children, not just ones on an island. You know, there's a crack right there. Like, what happened to that guy? What's his name? I'm blanking on his name, Josh.
Which one? I don't know.
The guy, you know, the guy that killed Epstein. You know, like, he's
Epstein
got all
Island,
these names of these politicians and power and money.
Yeah.
They're corrupt. I mean, this stuff is just crazy to me.
Put it in perspective, we got more information about UFOs and aliens than we have from the actual Black Book list from Epstein Island. So why haven't we seen the list? But we're getting all this information on UFOs and stuff. I don't know. It might be distraction. I'm sort of one of those guys that believes.
Oh, there's so many distractions.
And it's like, are you trying to make it so that I'm not paying attention to this?
Yeah. And
it's yes.
Here's another one. It's I don't even know what you want to call it, but people map.
I think
minor attracted people,
persons,
persons or whatever, you're effing insane. These people are effing insane. They need to be taken out of the driver's seat.
Yeah.
You don't get a color on the flag. Like, I'm all for whatever sexuality you want. As soon as you go, you're attracted to minors.
That's
like, cut it out. That's making the whole Epstein Island like, I'm just
it's justifying
attracted to minors. They're just
They're
justifying
making it a mental
crap.
health, so you can't go to like you can. The defense will be, I have a mental health issue. I'm a MAPS person.
Yeah,
as though it's an excuse.
It's ridiculous. Like we've got to put the brakes. The American people just have to stop going, I don't want to talk about it. I don't like to talk about politics.
But it's what runs our whole world, and you need to talk about it.
Free, like, I just want to go to the picnic basket and eat like a little ant.
Yeah.
Like, suck less. Stop being a wuss. We've got to, like, stand up to these politicians and go, why are we paying so much for gas when there's technology out there that we could be using? Oh, but wait, that's going to crumble big oil and gas. And these things with big pharma are crazy.
Yeah.
Last one on just, I cannot say this guy's
name.
No, is Rick Rubin's podcast. What is that name of that?
Rick.
How would you say at the top?
Tetragrammaton. Tetragrammaton.
All right, thank you, Josh.
That is a
Dr.
psychobabble.
Yeah. Dr. Jack Krause and Andrew Huberman, who you guys know I talk about a lot. Ben here, Coach Ben Kemper gave me, he's like, I think you'll like this. That is fantastic. It is extremely long, but I would give that a listen because that guy is on a whole nother level.
Yeah.
And things being involved in that, and he gets, it's all medical, and things like sunlight and water.
They're great.
Get out in the sun. That's what I was saying that during COVID. Like, stay inside. I'm like, stay inside. Get outside, Mother Nature. Like,
you need
like,
it.
Right
it
away.
Relaxes you.
Right away.
Yeah.
I was like, these people are idiots.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me? Stay inside.
Just leads to more depression.
And, one of the other big takeaway, he talks a lot about water. And Huberman has the episode on water. And Krause really, he's like, I want you to understand this. Listen to me. And he may seem a little condescending and talking down to him, but he's like, you're where I was 20 years ago. I want you to get you up to speed, not take 20 years where you're at now, kind of thing. And you're influencing all these other people. You're at Stanford. You have medical residents working in your lab and in your classroom. So he's like, I want you to understand, one thing, like fluoride in the water. We don't in the dangers and what it's doing to people. Like, it's just ridiculous. Like, we've just got to do something as a people before things just go down too far.
Yeah.
And
water's a
there's
big
some
deal.
great things, like, where are we? Are we going to go on that infinite path, or are we going to just blow up?
Oh, so
Indian culture, you'd know that. There's a line, I forget what it's called. I think it was in Dr. Greer's episode with Sean Ryan that they talk, I forget, it's an Indian tribe, like there's a path, but then there's another one that goes on to infinity. And you're like, are we on this line?
I see what you're saying. Okay.
Of people, I forget what they called it. There was way too much info in there.
Yeah. So it's like whether you're on a precipice of your society dying or living, right?
Are we going to blow ourselves up, nuclear war?
Well, with North Korea coming out saying that nuclear war is inevitable, I mean, the world's
it's
calling
not.
for it.
Like,
The world's
shut
calling
up.
for it. These are leaders. These are the ones who have their
They're
fingers
crazy.
on the buttons. They
Like,
certainly are.
I hope the aliens come and stop them because they're crazy. Like, it's
I think
inevitable.
I think that's an actual, that could happen, right? You guys can't be in charge of yourselves. They show up, and
Well,
you're
people
going to get better. People will eat it up, though.
But people, they want to eat up, I think, who is it? Has a great thing on, how come I get blanking on his name? What happens? I just read it. Too many names. But the communism, it doesn't matter. Communism is really attractive to people.
Yeah.
When you start looking at it, but you're like, but wait. Because when you start going like, free this, free entitlement, another entitlement, I'm like, why do I want to work that hard? Like my wife, that it's the, whatever it's called, Colorado Leave Act, that kind of seemed like, okay, you can get maternity leave and these companies have to pay you. We voted on that.
Yeah.
And now she's getting people, blue collar workers that are working for some of their companies going, hey, how do I opt out of this? I don't want this taken out of my check. And she's like, we voted for it.
You can't.
Or like, it was a vote. You can't.
Yeah. Right.
But now there's like some crazy stuff in there that she was telling me that they're like sneaking into this. Like you might be qualified to be able to just stay home with your cat because it's sick. And that might qualify for the Family Leave Act.
Because my cat is sick?
How far do you people want to push it to this socialist, this communist? Yeah. I'm like, we've got to stop this, people. It all sounds good until the people don't want to work. Because I got to tell you, I am sick of paying like that Oliver Anthony. I'm like, I get so much taken out of taxes. Both my wife and I are self-employed, and our health insurance. Like big pharma is sticking it to everybody. I'm sick. I'm like, I'm so close to being on an island.
It's not even fun.
And like, here, take me off. Like, take all my taxes. Like, how many men and women are just like, you know what? I'm tired of paying into this. Why the F am I working so darn hard and you're over there sitting on your freaking ass?
Mm-hmm. Eating cupcakes and watching TV all
day long. And just like, I can't work. I'm disabled. You're just freaking overweight.
Yeah.
Like I've said it before in this podcast, you can freaking be on your phone. You can work. You don't need to be...
You can be on a computer.
Doing something and sponging off the government. But that's my rant.
Socialism sucks. And it leads to communism. And communism always leads to people dying.
We've got to stand up, people. We've got to do something. I guess when I say, like, why am I doing this podcast? You know, is it something for my kids? But it's my little piece right there of going. I think it was both people, those podcasts that I listened to this week, going, we've got to speak up and do something, and we can't just be silent. So this is the best way I can reach. I can't even reach all my students that come to my gym and go, hey guys, or even sometimes I'll say stuff like the Grid Down Power Up. People don't want to do. They don't want to even visit it because, doom and gloom. I just want to be rainbows and happy. It's going to come effing crashing down on your ass. Or your kids. Whatever. Like, we might ride it out. Right? We're old men. We're like, the whole fucking world's blowing up. Oh, fuck. I was about to shoot myself anyways. I was old.
There's no such thing as rainbows and unicorns with the whole thing.
People just want to live in this delusion. Button. I'm like,
it's awful.
And it's like, cut it out. It's prepare for the worst.
If you don't face a problem, it'll destroy you.
Yeah,
no matter what that problem is.
You've got to game plan that problem. Yeah. Game plan. It's where people in the martial arts are like, you're dead. No, I'm like, I've been there. I've experienced a bad thing. It's like a fire drill for kids, so you don't panic. Do I want to get there? No. But am I going to train in that bad position? Yes. I'm going to experience when it goes bad. And can I keep pushing myself through a workout? Like, hey, I've prepped it. Like, what am I going to do? Like, it's these people that, like, I don't want to think about if the shit hits the fan. And they don't even know what shit hits the fan is, you know? Like,
yeah.
But they're like, why you're a doom and gloomer? No, I'm going to be freaking ready. And I've game planned it instead of crying like you're probably going to be doing. Like, I never thought about it. What do I do? I've got a freaking game plan. I've mentally prepped. I don't think it's really coming. Like, I'm an optimist.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't.
I don't think it's going to come, but I'm going to be effing ready.
Yeah.
If somebody attacks me, I'm going to be ready. I'm not going to be freaking getting hit and being a little freaking bitch to somebody because you're freaking sat on your ass like nobody's going to attack me. And then you're going to be somebody's freaking bitch. And I'm sorry. I'm like, I'm freaking done with people sometimes. I'm like, stop sucking. Do something. Don't be a wuss. Do hard things. Take on the freaking government. Like, these big freaking industries. But you had a bunch of stuff. I had some stuff I wanted to talk about besides this freaking rant.
You just started ranting because I was getting onto it. I was just thinking, when this stuff happens, that's when people say the words, I'm totally blindsided by this. I never saw it coming. And the answer is
I never saw it coming.
Bull crap. It's on the wall. The writing's always on the wall. Like, you are always 72 hours away from total disaster and starvation. If you are ready for just that, you're going to be in really good shape for what comes, right? We just don't know. But I hate that. I didn't see this coming. I've been blindsided by this. It's happened all over the world. I don't know how many times. And you see it happen on TV and you're like, that'll never happen here. We'll never have that disaster. We're 2 tornadoes away from Colorado being like completely destroyed, right?
Man, if you
absolutely,
I don't think it's ever going to happen.
I don't think so. I hope it doesn't. But like, let's say a power plant gets hit by something, right? And then suddenly we're out of power for just a week or 2. People will just melt down. They will devolve into what their most primal instincts, right? Survive. You know, the 3 Fs: food, a fight, and something more intimate. And that's the things they always go for. So they're going to go after food, yes. Are they looking for a fight? Always. And they're always looking to do horrible things to others, especially those that can't protect themselves, right? The 3 Fs. Yeah. That's just the animal kingdom. So that's what you would be facing, right? So how have you prepared? Have you prepared your body? Have you prepared your skill set? Have you prepared your way to communicate? Can you eat? Can you drink? Do you have novel ways of making power? Like, if we started checking these lists off with people, a lot of them will say, oh, we've got water. I've got a case of water out in the garage.
Yeah.
And it just drives me crazy. I didn't see this coming. It's never could have happened.
Yeah.
Live without power and running water for 1 month of your life. Tell me how easy it can get. Because it can be easy to live without those things.
Yeah.
You can do it. But we're too soft.
Yeah.
We're soft everywhere we look. I mean, if you looked at your household, anybody's household, you say to yourself, how long can I go without electricity? You know, realistically. Do you have canned food? Do you have a way to make a fire? I don't know. I get really pumped up about this stuff because I'm going to be ready, but then I got to protect it.
Yeah.
It's only yours if you could keep it, right? Stuff is only yours if you can keep it in those situations. And, you know, any one time, there's only like a couple cops running the beat in your town. You know, most of them are already
and they're going to go
understaffed.
protect their family.
Well, they have to. Well, that's a great question. What's going to be there to protect us? And the answer is the Constitution and the Second Amendment, right? That's really the only way to protect yourself, is to be able to arm yourself. And that includes being trained in how to fight, how to shoot, how to do medical, right? You know, there's going to be a lot of people that won't even know how to do basic.
Yeah, I mean, if it really went down, you think, like when there's a hurricane and there's a tornado and the National Guard comes in and they're if it really goes down, how many of those guys are going to go, screw this, I'm getting to my family? Yeah. Yes, I've got a job to do, and it's criminal to leave. But if your wife and kids are home and you really feel like shit is going down, how many of them are, you know, guarding the stores, whatever, you know, whatever that National Guard unit is doing? Right. Like, how many of those are going to leave when somebody was like, this is really a bad day?
Have you experienced a hurricane? So lived through one of those natural sort of disasters?
Yes. Oh, Nantucket. Yeah.
Yeah. I was curious if you had, and which one, and like.
Oh, there's a bunch.
It's just experience I'd never seen or done.
Yeah, I mean, a hurricane. I mean, basically, you know, again, usually the planes are flying in a couple hours after the end of the hurricane, but how much food are they getting over?
Yeah.
You know, when are sea conditions okay for the steamship? That's what they call it. It's not really a steamship, but that's what we still call it on Nantucket. In there,
tradition.
And I want to call it a barge, but they do run barges and different ferries that are just for tractor trailer trucks to resupply. So, you know, maybe you're out of food for a day or two, or I mean, that's nothing.
Yeah, I mean,
and they took the power plant down now. God, I've been gone from Nantucket for 17 plus years. So, you know, they've got an underground cable now going over to Cape Cod running power. So it's not like, and most of Nantucket was underground power lines. There were still some when I was there, but they were trying to bury everything.
Yeah.
So they weren't losing power lines and having to put power lines up, being just in a high wind storm out there. You know, you're 28 miles out to sea, 29 miles out to sea.
you're living on an island too. I mean, that's like a microcosm and a story, right? I mean, that you can distill everything down when it happens to an island. And let's look at Hawaii right now. All of a sudden, right? I mean, you want to talk about another disaster that's going to hit hard and fast, and it's the same thing. You know, no food, no water. It's sad. I hope I'm praying for those folks. I hope we get them all the help we need. But nobody was ready.
Yeah,
nobody was ready. And that's why we do the martial arts thing, right? We're always looking to get more and more ready.
Yeah.
You know? Not prepared, but ready, right?
Yeah, you just never know when something's gonna happen to you. Like, are you set? Right. And it's where people are like, it's not gonna happen to me. Well, let's hope it doesn't. But be prepared. You know, that's for sure. I mean, plenty of people are assaulted, and
it happens.
It's just a shame when we get people that it happened to them, and now they want to defend themselves, which can happen. After the fact. It can help a ton psychologically after the fact, but gosh, wouldn't it have been better if you were prepared?
Yeah, and
you know, it's a great avenue if you've been abused and empowered. You know, somebody's done something to you, whatever it is. It can be empowering to build yourself back up from that traumatic event. But gosh, wouldn't it have been better if you were prepared?
Yeah, and help prevent some of that?
So many people aren't. So
yeah, I know.
You had a bunch of things. I think anybody out there, you know, put it in the comments. You know, if you help our YouTube channel, that helps a ton. But this is posted everywhere. We'll eventually see it. But we really appreciate you guys going to ClearSky.Training on YouTube and giving our videos a thumbs up. Watch those, share those with a friend. Same thing with RMSDF. That really helps us out. Same thing on Facebook, Instagram, if you guys are watching those. If you really want to support the channel, KravMaga-online.com. Even if you're not into Krav Maga out there, we've got a lot of our Suck Less line on there. It's got a ton of our gym apparel. Clear Sky-online has all our Clear Sky martial arts and everything else on there. That will help support this channel and maybe convince me not to tell Josh that I'm not doing the podcast.
I just want to stay employed, so.
Yeah, you know, help support Josh.
Yeah. I've got a lifestyle I want to live. I want to be able to train. I want to be able to get better every day. And, you know, I feel like I've gotten better, you know, because we were talking about martial arts and, you know, as we age, it gets tougher and tougher.
It does. You know, there's all sorts of things out there, you know, whatever, after 40, you know, tends to be a big number. I definitely started to notice a difference doing martial arts. At 40, things started to change. I say it was a jinx from all the guys I trained with when I was 18, 19 years old there back on Nantucket. And, you know, like, wait till you're 40, wait till you're our age. And at 18, I mean, I was really 19. 19, 20, going, well, come on.
No,
tendinitis.
It's not going to happen to me.
How bad is that?
Right. High blood pressure, whatever. You know, vision blurring.
So I think that those guys jinx me. But no, it's really, you know, being 40, things start to change. You got to really take care of yourself. You know, all that. Sometimes the eating tends to start and catch up with us around 40, and it might be when you're 37.
Yeah, it happens sooner
I mean,
or
it's
later.
the same, the whole, you know, your frontal lobe's not fully developed until you're 25. Well, on your birthday, it's not magic. You know, you're like,
just waiting
it's around there.
Yeah.
So when we talk about, you know, this, it could be happening to you a little bit sooner or a little bit after. Like, you might need to really start dialing your diet in there. Yeah. What you're eating, you guys know. I mean, like, eliminate the sugar. Like, get that out of there.
Yeah, I've been, and I'm probably gonna get in trouble with this with the wife, but I've been stealthily throwing away some of the stuff that.
No, Tara.
Uh-oh.
Suck less. If Josh gets in trouble over this, it's you. You're sucking. You are better than that. Suck less. Amazing. You don't need the milk duds. You don't need the milk duds.
I threw away some milk duds, thinking, you know what? It's taking up a lot of space. These are calories we don't need. Let's replace it with some good stuff. I threw it away, and then I got a text like, so where's the milk duds? Because that's her vice, right? If she had to have one thing that you would take with you, milk duds would be it, and they're delicious. They are. I'm not throwing you under the bus, honey. I love you. But
90% chocolate.
Yeah. And they were all, you know, like, you know, they looked like they're in bad shape. I threw them away, and then there was a little, you know, I wanted to eat those sort of thing. And I was just trying to maybe I'm being wrong here, but I just wanted to slowly get rid of some of those foods that were in the cabinet, right? And it's hard to do it all at once. It really is. For some,
it is. It's probably better.
And it is, but if I can take it away in little pieces, right, and I can win small battles, is what I was thinking.
Yeah. See, here's the thing. My wife says like she does 86. I think it's 90 or 92. Dark chocolate. That's my little.
Yeah, that's
like okay, just I'll have a square of that. But now it's still the sugar. You're just coming back to the drug dealer in some way because it's still like get it as dark. Like, and she's like, it's dirt. I'm like, compared to yours, I'm like, yours tastes like super sweet.
Yeah,
you've got to let your taste buds change, and that's an overall process with you just gotta eliminate that stuff because I'm like Christmas time I'm like, oh my god, I crack! Like I just need more Reese's peanut butter cups, more of the Buckeyes, homemade Buckeyes that my wife's make. It's like crack. You've got to eliminate them. So I just eat them all, and I've eliminated them.
They're gone now.
They're gone. But I feel like, the next day you're addicted to that.
Oh yeah,
it's calling you. You guys just have to eliminate that. So that's a big start.
And when you're super lean, you realize how many how much weight it starts to put on you. You see it right away because when you finally get yourself to really lean, you eat just a little bit more. The changes look so much more significant. If you're not super lean, you never see them, right? Yeah. So you don't think that there's a problem, but there is, and that's.
So, that's a big thing. Dialing in your diet as you get older. You want to, be a lifelong martial artist,
right?
Fitness, whatever it is. We're seeing, do Krav Maga over 40. You could tag this little section on anything and let the algorithm play. Like, it doesn't really matter. It falls into fitness or anything. But my experience as a martial artist, like I really like having your diet dialed in. Luckily, that was pretty dialed in there. I think it was in my 30s that I was like, eliminated ginger ale and some other little things like that weren't that great. I was still having cereal and like, wow, it's Kashi cereal. You're like, eliminate that trash. Like stuff, it seems like it's nutrition. You're like, no, it's not. It's just marketing. That stuff. And the other thing I think that's really important is sleep. You want to recover. Yeah. Recovery gets so hard. You need longer. You can't push yourself like you're 20 or even 30s. You can't push. You got to recover. And it might not be not working out. It just might be easing back. That you're not always going so hard. Yeah. That you need that recovery time. It's just key. Yeah. I think Mark Sisson says something about his journey of how I think he's a triathlete and how he started dialing back after that and how he felt better and stronger of just personal training his clients. Yeah. That, wait a second, like, was I overdoing it? Kind of thing. And I think that's really common for people that have that mindset to go after it, to be able to also dial it back so you can continue to go after it and not hurt yourself. I had a bunch of injuries when I was 40, like the thing, this is tight and this pulled. And, it was I guess it was late 40s that, a meniscus tear doing a squat. You're like, I just squatted down with 75 pounds. It was, 75, 95.
Right.
I feel like it was 75 pounds, you're like, crap. It's not even heavy.
Right.
Things start to add up. But, getting that recovery, getting good sleep, I recommend, from Andrew Huberman, non-sleep, deep rest. I'd just go to the Base Camp podcast with Pat Dorsett. That's a great way to fall asleep or fall back asleep when our minds start going. I woke up and I know I could feel my head going a little bit for a second there, and I'm like, God, I put that on and I don't even remember how far I got into the protocol. Sometimes I have to rewind it. But you guys need your rest. Some people overtraining is just huge. Yeah. Especially again, that mindset, that 1%er, 10%er, You like to go after it and you feel like I need to work out every day. And I'm like,
and push hard each
you've
time.
got it. You've just, sometimes I call it, go through the motions. Yeah. Just get good quality push-ups. Like, work your movement. I see so many people like going after it, but their movement sucks. Mm-hmm. I'm like, again, movement is key.
Give me 10 solid ones, not 20 bad ones.
Solid fast ones. Get full extensions on your push-ups. Like, I see so many guys going 3/4 of the way. Just go slow.
Right.
Who cares about what it is? I got in a workout today. Who cares really what it was?
Yeah.
So I think you really guys need your sleep. That was big for me. And then, checking your ego. You gotta check it. You're not. Could you do it? Sure.
But
how hurt are you trying to be?
Yeah.
At what cost?
Yeah.
Once in a while, like, I'm not saying giving you the out of like, I never have to do any hard workouts again. No, you have to do hard workouts. But how often? You're doing something, maybe you're scaling the weight back, maybe you're in the gym and you're looking at this kid and you're like, I can do that.
Oh, I've seen, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I can do that weight, or I've done that weight. Now here's me with, I just call it old guy weight. And I'm just like,
still weight.
That's where I'm at. You got to check your ego.
Yeah.
And go, nope, this is better for me. Don't push it. Or is it a day that you go, you know what, I'm feeling really good.
Right, let's try a little bit.
All right, let's step it up. Yeah. Am I being a wuss? And you gotta play with that. That it's a learning curve. Sometimes you do, you're an athlete. Sometimes you overdo it and you pull a muscle, whatever, stuff can happen to you as an athlete in that learning process. Everyone's like, is this guy? I'm like, I don't know, Josh. That's my best recommendation. But you could still tweak something, you get into the workout and sometimes you have to check your ego and go, you know what?
Right.
I'm a train wreck. My squat clean sucks. My clean and jerk sucks. Maybe I need to go down and weight.
Yeah.
But checking the ego, you're grappling, you're sparring with people. Then you got to check your ego. There was a comment on, YouTube, like the putting yourself out there and like the comments and like some guys, I was like, well, first of all, it was like the heat seeker and it was Braden going after Doug. And I'm like, dude, first of all, it's a 20% drill. That were the orders. So settle down or get your ass in.
Right.
Or go into any gym and go against the 28-year-old black belt that's been training since they're 15 and go, all right, yeah, give me 100%. You do that, buddy. Freaking keyboard warrior. But I think I said, like, hey, one guy is in his 20s and the other guy is in his 60s.
Yeah.
Settle down, Beavis.
Right.
Settle down. Or get your ass into the gym and do it yourself. You wouldn't be making a jackass comment. It's like, hey, YouTube, every jackass comment, you're like, either you're a know-it-all and you feel like you got to insert yourself or insert like your martial art is better than like all martial arts combined. Didn't we already discuss this? Didn't Bruce Lee, wasn't he the big pioneer here, guys? Way of no way.
Right.
It's combining everything. It's what drew me to Krav Maga. Whatever freaking works. And like, Krav Maga sucks because BJJ's better. Blah, 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 blah.
It's just those egos. Everybody just wants to fight about it.
Like, somebody drops a fucking elbow to your eye, man. That fucking changes your fucking world.
Oh, it's
like, again, I put out a post I just said on YouTube on the ClearSky.Training site that if you're not getting hitting training, you suck. You're not really doing it.
Yeah, it's not fighting.
You're just fooling yourself. You've got to vary that. Even if it's just simulated strikes to a degree. Everything in training can, start at the bottom and work your way up. Yeah. Like beginners, you can work your way up. A good gym is going to build you up. If you're going in there and you're getting your ass kicked and you're, getting knocked out and freaking tendons are getting tweaked and like things and muscles and things like that's not a good training gym. Like, like they might be hardcore, but man, they just cater to the hardcore.
Yeah, that may not be the gym for you.
That, yeah, and maybe they're a competition gym, whatever.
Yeah.
But, that's not a good way to learn. A good gym is going to build you up.
Yeah.
But
speaking of the ego, I watched one of his name's Mike. We won't say how old he is, but I watched him deadlift like 515 pounds, like rapid almost. It was insane. And then he does one of my classes, and it's like it's not even affected him. And then I kind of grapple with him, and he's just so good. He's young, he's strong, and I'm thinking to myself, what do I got to do to match that? And I had to check that. I'm like, wait a minute, I can't match his strength. I don't think I can anymore, right? Maybe I could get myself up there with a lot of intense training, but I've got to get used to the idea that I don't have to be I'm not that young and strong anymore, right? It doesn't mean I can't accomplish something. It just means I can't keep up with him. And that's the way I was seeing it.
yeah,
You know what I
and
mean?
it's even what's realistic for me. Am I just trying to be a power lifter? That's where sometimes people get caught in the numbers, and that's cool. Like, if that's what you want to do, if you want to be a power lifter and have a 500-pound deadlift, well, maybe at your body weight, you're not going to be capable of that. Obviously, double your body weight, is a really good first benchmark in there of like, all right, do a double body weight, build from there. But is it worth it? Or
There's
how
no way
much?
I would be able to do that. I would break so much. Like I would hear things rip.
Well, even if it's not 500 pounds, even whatever your deadlift is now, to get it up another 75 pounds, even if that's 275 pounds now, whatever it is, how much effort is that going to take? Like what I said, like I just want to be a well-rounded warrior. That's like our piece. I want to be good. I want to have longevity. I want to be strong. But I can't just devote all my training time to strength. That's cool if you want to do it. It's kind of like, I just want to devote all my time to be better at grappling. Oh, I grappled with this guy and they schooled me. Well, how good is their knife defense? How good is that? I just want to be well-rounded. That's where people get caught up in going, oh, I got to learn this now because I got schooled there. And I'm like, did you headbutt them?
Well, no.
And everybody's got a plan. And I'm not saying, dude, I know I can get my ass kicked all the time. I'm like, freaking 20 minutes ago, freaking trained with Braden. I'm like, and other people, like Bill on Tuesday, you're just like, man, he's freaking strong. And, and it doesn't take much to lose a fight.
No.
Just to lose that position. And now you took one, whatever it is. But people negate that all the time. I'm like, if somebody's not throwing punches at you on the ground, that's what's really likely in a street fight. And can you get away with it? You got to practice it. I see a lot of lip service and a lot of stuff and a lot of what ifs with people. I mean, there's absolutely great people that are well-rounded, that are striking and grappling, but I see people get caught up in one thing. And I'm like, I'm not going to be a specialist in one thing. I don't know what the hell is going to happen to me. Maybe what is the likelihood of me having to possibly carry my wife out of a hiking trip?
Right.
So you can get I'm probably going to need my medical training more than I'm going to need my gun. The likelihood of me needing medical, I forget what the stats are on that, but it's really high.
Oh, I was going to say, you'll be surprised how much you need to know your medical.
It's way up there. I mean, it's crazy.
Not just for you, even strangers.
I mean, if you just think about it, I mean, I'm just going to say, like, it's like 80%, I mean, needing your gun is very
Hopefully
unlikely.
it's like 1%, like your whole life, right?
Yeah.
But I'll be on a trail. We were on a trail in Moab, and there were people that were just falling over left and right from heat exhaustion.
Yeah, just...
and then there's other stuff that goes with it. What if they're having a heart attack? You're going to like that stuff's going to happen. So it's good to know it. I mean, what happens if like your kid has an allergic reaction or your spouse goes into cardiac arrest or any of that stuff? You've got to have something. Or like you cut up something or you land on a stick and you're bleeding from nature, right? Not necessarily an attack or anything. How are you going to stop that bleeding? I mean, those are all huge things. It's so important to know, and you're going to use it. You're going to use it.
So, but I think those are, my top three.
Yeah.
in there of, starting a martial art, and you got to go slow.
Yeah.
Go easy. Don't kill yourself. You've been out of shape for 10 years, 20 years, 40, whatever it is. Just slow and steady.
Right.
Right. The old that slow and steady wins the race. Some people just jump in. They're excited.
Yeah.
They're passionate. They really found something they like, and then they then they get hurt, and then they can't train. They can't continue down the path, or they're diverted for a month or 6 months, and then sometimes people then they lose the focus because they hadn't made it part of their lifestyle. That's where I say keep coming. You're hurt. Keep coming and observe. Ask a question. In that group huddle up.
Yeah.
Hey, I've got a question over here from the chair. Kind of thing. It's something where I'm gonna change the angle of our most of our huddle ups mainly for the camera, but it would work. Thinking about if somebody's hurt and observing the class. They're part of it. They're right behind the huddle up, and I'm looking directly at them. So, you've got to check that ego. It just goes back, but just slow and easy. Don't kill yourself. Come back another day and train again versus overdoing it. Yeah. I think that's super common in so many things, and you just get hurt because your body's not conditioned to do the things that you want it to do. But it's that, that what my wife loves to say is like slow progress is progress. People want
progress.
That giant gain. They want the big reward.
They do. I want to see this tomorrow. When am I going to be?
It's slow and steady.
The joke in our house is, when am I going to be a skinny bitches? That's what we love to say. And Tara's like, when am I going to be a skinny bitches? And it's like, well, just keep going. You already are. You don't realize it yet. You're on your way, is what I tell everybody.
Yeah, you're on the way.
You're on the way.
And having no milk duds is getting you closer.
I'm in trouble. Don't get me in trouble.
You're not in trouble.
I'm in trouble, dude. I am in serious doo-doo.
If she says anything, every time she comes in, I'm just going to be like, start doing burpees.
No.
Start doing burpees. Start doing burpees.
Dude, she's a bulldog. Like, she should, like, Tara would be perfect for Krav. Like, she's got this. She does have, like, a warrior's mentality. She really does. But she's like, I don't want to do it. I feel like I wouldn't be able to do it.
People are
just get in and do it.
I don't want to touch people.
And I don't want to hurt anyone. It's like, just get in there. And I think she'd be great because...
Yeah, probably. There's plenty of our fitness side that they would be good at it.
Yeah.
But there's the other side of it. It doesn't appeal to them. Or I don't want to hurt anybody. Or I don't think it's likely. I don't...
You just don't want to, right? And that's okay. I'd rather her... I mean, she's found a place, right? We found a home, and that was the most important part.
That's fitness. Like, strong people are harder to kill, and that's true.
Yeah.
But you also have no skill.
Yeah.
Like, you can be strong, and strength can get you out of a lot of shit.
But
it doesn't always get you out of it.
Right. It's
no substitute. Like one of our teenagers, like somebody bigger. He's the biggest kid in class. I'm like, there's always somebody bigger.
Yeah.
Or the same exact size and stronger than you. Like same body weight, they're stronger. There's always somebody bigger and stronger.
And what's going to happen is when they think they're big and strong, and that small person comes in and lights up your world.
Yeah, having skill, it's
will
great.
Just blow you away.
If you're strong, that's great.
Yeah.
It's going to get you out of
some
stuff. But as we like to say here, like worst case scenario, you're up against yourself.
Yeah. How would you take you on? It's
like you got somebody with the same strength. Now you need skill and training and practice and practice and practice. And that's why like having a good community. I think find a good community of people,
and we have it here.
So
the one thing I do want to touch on is that hydration was the one that really grabbed me. Like I live in Colorado, my skin was always dry, and I was like, man, why can't I get my skin to catch up? I wasn't hydrating. And then when I started with you, I realized that, it's diet and it's hydration. They're probably two and the same. Your hydration requirements are far beyond what you actually think they need to be.
Yeah.
It blows me away.
Like this is just the start from 5:30 this morning. It's not very far, but I need another cup of coffee or really an Americano because
he loves his coffee.
But... yeah, hydrate. Another great way
oh my gosh.
that I'm doing it. Every day I can see how much I had by carrying that around. You want to help support either one of those Krav Maga -online, ClearSky-online.com. You can get them from members.rmsdf. You can get there is at Prestige Labs.
Yeah.
They have really good stuff.
Supplements.
Constantly. They just changed the packaging on the recovery.
Oh, that looks really nice.
I'm throwing that in, and I'm just going for my water bottle.
Yeah.
And I'm getting, my shaker, I'm using that intra recovery, just about every day.
And I was never a supplements guy. I never really pushed that stuff. And then I start training hard with you, and I realized, man, I feel a lot better once I put different stuff in my body, stuff that my body wants and needs, right?
Yeah, they've got the full line. I think you have it on the podcast right there of my favorite stuff, the stuff that I'm using.
All the time. Yeah.
I see people buy crappy stuff all the time, trying to save a buck. And God, don't save a buck.
Don't save a buck on
stop buying Milk Duds.
Yeah.
Josh, I'm not going to let it go.
I know. The problem is I love the Milk Duds. Like,
they suck.
I do, but they're
maybe once a week. Maybe.
Well, I'm trying to cut it out completely. Go cold
It's
turkey
better.
on
Like
this
those
stuff.
things are crappy.
They're not good for you. I agree, but
so Prestige Labs. That's a great way to support us here because that is a supplement company that was designed for gym owners.
Yeah.
So they're not having to deal with, well, I can get this cheaper over here. We've carried different product lines, and now you can get it at Murdoch's. Freaking fantastic.
Great.
Really, like if you guys are members here or not, you enjoy the podcast. If you go to one of it's all going to, the link on either store is going to bring you over to our affiliate page for Prestige Labs. Mm-hmm. You're going to get the discount, and we're going to make some money off of it and help support this podcast in there. Hey, or go buy some cheap ass crap off of Amazon and listen to what's his faces. Does he even have a podcast?
What's his face?
Amazon.
Amazon.
What's
Jeff
that dude's
Bezos?
name? Yeah.
He doesn't need a podcast. What would Jeff Bezos do? I would love to see what he's
going to talk about.
He'd be there's so much ego there. Like, he has an ego. I would say that Jeff Bezos has an ego. I know maybe he sues me for that. I don't know. He's not going to get much. But maybe it would be good. I don't know. He probably has a ton of insight on business.
Listen to his podcast is all I'm saying. Like, oh, wait, he's not teaching you how to fight. We say here, like, you need to buy gear from us. Support local. I'm constantly people like, oh.
We're a small business.
Like, support local. Like, your local gym there, they're trying to freaking eke out. I mean, it was hard enough before COVID.
Oh, my gosh, yeah. Like,
there's so much out there. Like, support your gym. Mm-hmm. Prestige Labs is a great way to support us here. I got to tell you, I think there's only 4 subscriptions out there, and I know you guys are out there, and you're taking other stuff. And maybe that's what you're doing. Maybe it's the same stuff, but you really want to help support us. Give that stuff a try.
Prestige Labs.
Some people are doing stuff on empty stomachs, and then like, oh, I'm like, it hurt my stomach. There was some stuff in our fitness class, a couple people, and I felt it like scared a bunch of other people away because like, oh, I didn't feel good. Maybe it's your whole diet. Maybe you're doing it on an empty stomach, which is super common. Like, I'm not going to take these things, like, I'll fight through it, but usually go, okay, yeah, I don't feel a little great, but usually I just try to take them after lunch now instead of first thing in the morning.
Sure.
That's
how it is with any medication or supplement out there. You've got to know when to take it, not just to take it, right?
Yeah, and being consistent with it and, that type of stuff. But there's some great, just the multivitamins, all that stuff on there. There's a sleep aid that they have on there. There's the protein powder. They're all good, really quality stuff from Dr. Kashi. So if you want to help support us or come on in the doors here at rmsdf.com. If there's something you guys want us to hit on the podcast, again, go on YouTube. That really helps us out a ton on our ClearSky.Training channel. Josh needs a job. So I constantly go, I
brought myself back. I thought I had one.
I think I suck, and I'm like, gosh, I'm a motivator. I feel like I'm maybe better in person. This podcast thing is definitely outside my comfort zone, and I constantly keep going. I'm not going to keep doing it. Nobody's listening.
I listen all the time.
You're listening to me right now. You have no choice.
Well,
you're getting paid for it. You're the only person that's getting paid for the podcast.
It's a service I provide.
It's a service I provide.
A service.
Wait a second. I listen to the podcast. Wait a second. I'm pretty sure you're getting paid to produce the podcast. So you're not out there. No, Josh, I'm not going to wrap it up. Josh wants me to wrap it up. Wrap it up, Josh. You're giving me crap. let's just wrap this up, John. This is going bad for me. So he wants me to wrap it up. So Tara, suck less. You don't need the milk duds. You'll be fine. Everybody has a vice. How many times are you going to that vice? It's really easy to go to that comfort zone. Go, can I do it? Can I not? Like, discipline. Like, every day is a tough day. Because a lot of times I just want a little sip of bourbon.
Just a little.
And I'm just like, no, you can do it. You don't do it. Don't do it. That's how you sip, Josh.
This isn't about me, and I'm wrapping this up.
Josh is wrapping this up. All right, guys. I really appreciate it. And there's a kid out there making fun of me. One of my Ethan's friend is making fun of me.
Make fun back.
He's got, yeah. We're gonna have to clip this out.
All right.
I do have the clip of him at my kitchen counter, but he couldn't do it. He couldn't find the video, and he was like impersonating me because I do say "all right" a lot.
Look.
I say "look" a lot. Look, Josh. Throw those milk duds out.
Look.
Look.
Listen.
Look at me.
Look at me. Looking at you.
Look
at me looking at
Pay
you.
attention.
Look.
What else could I say?
I don't know.
Is there something better? I say "look" a lot, and I say "all right" a lot.
You say which one?
All right.
All right. Yeah, looking all right. All right,
Should I
gang.
just be like, all right.
All right. Look.
Yeah, he's a jackass.
Send us home.
What's his name? McConaughey?
Matthew McConaughey.
He's a great actor, but personally, I don't like what
When he got arrested with the bongo smoking the weed back in the
Yeah.
90s, that was...
That was cool.
That was
All
and
right,
he was
all
bald.
right, all
Anyway,
right.
old school story.
Well, if you got anything else I can say and bring into the vocabulary, post it on
Okay,
YouTube. Post
yeah.
it on the comments.
Let us
If you
know.
made it this far, thanks a lot. I can continue to make fun of Josh because that is easy.
Easy.
That's in my wheelhouse. All right. Look, I'm out of here. Take us away, Josh.